starts now. Protests have erupted following a week of executive orders signed by President Donald Trump. Good evening, I'm Bo Evans. Thousands of people have gathered in New York City to protest President Trump's executive order on a travel ban. Protesters came together in Foley Square before they marched to 26 Federal Plaza, the site of many federal government agencies. Demonstrators held signs and chanted things like "No ban, no wall," and "Build a wall, we'll tear it down." Those protests have spread across the country against the president's 90-day ban on immigration from 7 Muslim-majority countries. Democratic lawmakers want Mr. Trump to reverse his executive order, and already federal courts are issuing stays to prevent people from being deported. NBC Jennifer Johnson has our top story from Washington.
Protests at airports around the country, from Hartford to Orlando, Islamophobia has got to go. Dallas to Los Angeles. A sobbing father, an American citizen, trying to bring his child back home.
And I have another daughter in Lebanon stuck there with 4 children. They cannot get here.
Thousands voicing their concerns in New York City and outside the White House. Anger over President Trump's executive order imposing a 90-day ban on immigration from 7 predominantly Muslim countries, not Saudi Arabia, whose leader the president spoke to Sunday. The order also suspends the U.S. refugee program for 120 days, indefinitely for Syrian refugees.
It's not a Muslim ban, but we were totally prepared. It's working out very nicely.
Democratic lawmakers are furious, saying this will inspire radicals already here.
This order makes lone wolves more likely, not less.
The White House says less than 1% of over 325,000 international travelers were detained Saturday.
If they're folks that shouldn't be in this country, they're going to be detained. And so apologize for nothing here.
Federal courts this weekend issued temporary emergency stays to hold off enforcement of the order and to prevent deportation of specific travelers. But the White House says those rulings have no effect on the president's action, which has caused so much uproar.
Late Sunday, the president issued a statement saying his policy is similar to what President Obama did in 2011 when he banned visas for Iraqi refugees for 6 months and said this is not about religion, but about keeping our country safe. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
The president responded to his critics via social media with a statement to his public Facebook page. In the statement, President Trump says, "America is a proud nation of immigrants, and we will continue to show compassion to those fleeing oppression." The statement goes on to say, "To be clear, this is not a Muslim ban, as the media is falsely reporting. This is not about religion. This is about terror and keeping our country safe." The statement makes no mention of the protests breaking out across the country following the president's executive orders. Many around the world were confused by President Donald Trump's executive order on immigration, including some in Iraq. One Iraqi family was prevented from boarding a plane to the United States. The Iraqi government said it understands the security motives behind President Trump's decision, but underlined that their special relationship should be taken into consideration. An Iraqi family of 4 said their dreams of emigrating to the United States were dashed when the president's order took effect. Fahd Suleiman and his wife and 3 children said they spent 2 years obtaining U.S. visas.
I don't know. I thought America is an institution and democracy. I see like autocracy. It's autocracy. As someone signs and effective immediately. What does this mean? It's just like Saddam Hussein's decisions.
The family planned to move to America, but were turned back to Iraq when they tried to board a connecting flight to the U.S. from Cairo. The Bismarck Fire Department responded to a fire on Morrison Ave early this morning. Fire crews contained the flames in about 20 minutes after locating 2 storage units inside the building. Damage was contained to the 2 units, the attic, level, and roof. Initial investigation findings by the fire department are pointing towards a natural gas line that had been damaged. With nearly a full month under their belt, North Dakota lawmakers will dig in for the meat of their work. This week, one thing that will be considered is a bill to prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation. Similar legislation has been shot down 3 times in the last 8 years. The legislation would add sexual orientation as a protected class, along with gender, race, or religion. A new bill could change the penalties for those involved in a riot. A bill in the House could double the jail time and fine for participating in a riot of more than 100 people, from a maximum of 5 years in prison and $10,000 fine to 10 years and $20,000. The current law classifies rioting with more than 100 people as a Class C felony. This would make it a Class B charge. It would also change the penalty for participating in a riot of 100 or fewer people. That would increase from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class C felony. The third annual Battle of the Bakken Blood Drive has started, and it goes until February 28th. The blood drive is a competition between Bakken companies to give back to the community. You can help to donate as an individual or a company. All you need to do is tell them what company you are donating on behalf of.
It started as a friendly competition between our member companies to help raise needed resources, but also add a little bit of fun element in there to get companies to compete against one another, and the prize is $1,000 for the charity of their choice.
For a full list of participation sites or companies that are competing in this year's blood drive, you can go to ndoil.org or call Tessa at 701-223-6380. And Emily, it's been a lovely couple of days. I see that we may have topped 40 degrees. That's crazy.
We did, especially in Bismarck. 42 degrees for your high in Bismarck. Now 40 up in Minot, 38 in Garrison, 36 in Dickinson, and 40 for your high in Williston, when normal is about 25 degrees. Now, looking at our current radar satellite, we do have some clouds building in from the north as we have a system beginning to move down. However, it's still pretty warm across the area. Still 34 degrees in Bismarck, 29 just below freezing in Garrison, and sitting right at freezing over in the Williston area. Winds aren't too bad right now, but they will begin to pick up as we head through the night, and especially in tomorrow. About 5 miles per hour in Bismarck right now, 12 miles per hour up in Minot, and 5 as well in Garrison and over into Williston. Now let's just talk briefly about tomorrow. We are looking at high wind watch going into effect tomorrow morning about 9 a.m. That's going to linger through all the day, all tomorrow. Looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds possible across most of North Dakota. Now over into Montana, you're under a high wind warning, so you can expect those 60-mile-per-hour winds, or excuse me, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in both those locations as we head into tomorrow. Now here's a breakdown of the forecast for tomorrow. Let's just note here at noontime, still in the 30s, pretty warm, except gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So even though it's going to be about 36 degrees or so, with those winds, it's really only going to feel like it's in the 20s. Still looking at some strong winds up towards the Williston and Minot area. Temperatures in the 30s. However, if we take a look at our wind chill forecast, starting off in the morning, even though temperatures are going to be in the 30s, we're still looking at temperatures feeling like they're in the 20s across the region. So this is about 2 p.m. feeling like 28, when the thermometer will probably read around 38. So just take note that even though it says 30s, it's going to be about 10 degrees lower what it's going to feel like outside. And now we have this low pressure system, or this clipper system, that's going to begin to move down as we head through the overnight hours and into tomorrow. So this is about 9 a.m. As far as snowfall, you're really only looking at snowfall over towards the northwestern part of the region, so not for our first warn viewing area. Mainly what we're going to be dealing with is the windy conditions, because we have low pressure up towards our northeast. High pressure is sitting off towards our west, so that's creating this tight pressure gradient, and so we're looking at some windy conditions through the day tomorrow. So we'll see those windy conditions definitely lingering around. The low pressure system will continue to move out. We are looking at those flurries really for our viewing area. Those will begin to taper off as we head into the evening hours and really filter out as we head overnight. Now those windy conditions will turn to more breezy conditions as we head into Tuesday. Now we do have a cold front that's going to begin to slip down as we head through Tuesday. So 10 a.m. it's still in Canada, but as we head into the evening hours, it's going to be just passing through the northern part of the state. So we can expect some flurries just along that cold front border. However, behind this front, we are expecting some of those really cold conditions to be slipping down as well. Now, if we just take a quick peek at the week ahead, we are looking at, again, 40 degrees for Monday. However, really windy conditions. Can't stress that it's really going to feel much lower than that. Now, Tuesday, we are looking at those breezy conditions, much lighter than on Monday. Now, heading through the rest of the week, temperatures are going to begin to dip down into the teens. Now, we'll have a little bit of a warm-up on Saturday, but heading into Sunday, still looking at temperatures in the teens. It's really not going to get much warmer into next week. Sorry, I don't really have a lot of good news.
It was fun while it lasted. I enjoyed the break, and hopefully they had a chance to get some of that snow off the road, and that's what's
except just not looking forward to the cold temperatures.
No, not at all. But up next, find out how some with the Bismarck Public Schools are raising money to help some of those who need it the most. And some Bismarck brides are looking to get their perfect wedding day. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Going without a home or other basic needs is a trying time for anyone. Bismarck Public Schools are trying to ease the lives of families by raising a fund to aid homeless students. John Salling went to Century High School to find out more.
Bismarck Public Schools are opening a new fund to bridge some of the uncovered expenses in helping homeless children. They just needed a way to kick off the fund.
I finally figured out maybe if we just did maybe one fundraiser that could raise a bunch of money, and the first thing that came to mind was Tiger Lily, because they're from here, they're local, and everybody knows them, and they're great entertainment, and so we just kind of got our heads together and came up with this.
They've run into barriers in the past while trying to help homeless students. Restrictions on grants and other finances have limited what they've been able to do. The project has received a tremendous response from the community and from students that just want to help their classmates.
We're like lucky kids and we have stuff, but there's like other kids that just don't have stuff.
With this fund, they hope to do things like provide art supplies, general school supplies, or cover other unforeseen costs in educating a child. One recent example was a situation where the school needed to bring in a translator so they could work with the family of a homeless child.
I've had very positive feedback within the community on social media, and so, you know, I mean, my goal is to fill the gym, and that obviously would be spectacular, but we've already got a crowd here and it's very early, so we're very excited for what's going to happen.
The school system had 420 homeless children last school year. This year, they are up to 260 already and are still taking case files. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm John Salling.
Any donations to the program are still welcome. The city of Salem, Massachusetts is moving forward with a plan to build a memorial to honor the 19 accused witches who were executed there 325 years ago. This wooded area called Proctor's Ledge near a residential neighborhood will be the site dedicated to Salem's haunting past. City officials announced this week that a final design for the memorial has been selected and will include stones with the names of the 19 people who were hanged here, all accused of being witches. Descendants of the victims, along with historians and neighbors who live nearby, have helped with the plan.
The whole goal is to respect and recognize the role and responsibility that witch history has played in the history of Salem.
Construction on the memorial is expected to begin in April, and it could be finished by the summer. Still to come, what do you get when you mix a lion and a tiger? A great time. But first, Starbucks is getting involved with the fight against immigration with President Trump. We'll show you how.
This is the Night Report Sunday.
The coffee giant Starbucks says it will be hiring 10,000 refugees over the next 5 years. The hiring is in response to President Donald Trump's ban of Syrian refugees and temporary ban on immigrants from 7 Muslim-majority nations. A statement released by CEO Howard Schultz said Starbucks will be hiring in stores worldwide and in the United States with a focus on hiring immigrants who have served with U.S. troops as interpreters and support personnel. The Dream Day Bridal Show swept the stage as brides, moms, fiancés, friends, and siblings swarmed the Bismarck Event Center. Maddie Jelsef checked out the show and spoke to a couple of vendors, brides, and the coordinator.
The Dream Day Bridal Show had over 300 people buzzing with excitement to check out the many vendors the show had to offer.
It makes me feel really excited that the day is finally coming and to just put everything together and see it planned out. Just really exciting.
This is the second annual Dream Day Bridal Show where it was a big hit. There were over 75 vendors showing the bride-to-be's opportunities to sample their products and services.
It's really fun to show them. We have all sorts of, we have limos, we have DJs, we have sound and lighting, we have, we offer a wide variety of services. So it's fun. It is. They get excited about it, so it's kind of contagious.
Vendors range from limousine companies to makeup artists, florists, and dance lessons. The bridal show also had a day packed full of events, starting with a grand style show, followed by a giveaway door prizes and a decades fashion show to show dresses from 1910 to the 2000s.
You get to really come to one place and talk with every wedding vendor. You get to learn how to do your first dance, you get to learn how to talk to your photographer, you get to see all of these new trends all in one spot, kind of just draw inspiration from all the professionals in town.
The bridal show showcased Bismarck Mandan's wedding professionals to help make it easier to plan the bride's perfect wedding. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Maddie Jalseth.
If you'd like more information about the Dream Day Bridal Show and the vendors that were at this event, you can go to their website at dreamdaybridalshow.com. Coming up, Bismarck Bucks held their open tryout today. Spoiler alert, I didn't make the team. Clayton Collier has more from the Four Seasons Center in Sports. Half tiger, half lion. This is not a drill. We have a real honest-to-God liger cub in Russia. The director of the Russian circus that is touring with the cub says ligers are rare and only born in captivity. This one, aptly named Tsar, I assume because he rules the jungle, is from a zoo in southern Russia. He is active and healthy and is being fed from a bottle with milk provided by a goat at the zoo. Tsar's father is a lion named Caesar, and his mother is a tigress named Princess. The head of the circus says there are only about 30 liger cubs in the world. And I'm pretty sure Napoleon Dynamite would be jealous of us right now. He wants to see it. But what's going on with the weather tomorrow?
All right, so temperatures will be pretty warm, but with those winds, it's really going to feel about 10 degrees cooler than what the temperature is really going to be reading. Now, as we head towards noontime, temperatures will be making their way up to the 40s, but those winds are really going to keep those temperatures down.
They could have had that tryout outside today. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, but stick around for Marauders Weekly, which starts right after this.